Joffrey, Renly, Robb Stark are all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
The rider had come bearing the news in the dead of night. Benfrey Highstar, the Lord of the Eyrie and Hand of the King, was dead, executed by Lord Daenys Corbury. Aengar had never been all that close to his uncle. Benfrey had always had more time for Lister and Owen than he'd ever had for him, yet he still respected him greatly for the loyal and honourable servant that he was to House Sevenstar and the kingdom, even if it was his duty. If the news of Benfrey's death wasn't bad enough, the rider also brought word that the Lord of Heartsholme had now raised his banners and marched for the Eyrie itself, the very heart of the Vale, backed by several other High Lords and a score of mercenary companies. Not even a moon's turn ago, Lord Corbury had wrote to his brother asking to be made Lord Paramount of the Vale, with the support and backing of many powerful lords. The King's and Hand's decision was an instant no, so now Lord Daenys seemed set on taking the title by force. The coward had waited until the King had set sail to Essos before making his move, and now with the most powerful and respected man in Andalia dead by his hand, there would be no one left to oppose him. Or so he thought. With the King far away and the Hand dead, it would now fall to Aengar himself as brother to the King and heir to Andalia to take control and bring a swift end to the hostilities. He was duty-bound to do so. He would bring down the iron fist of his namesake the Conqueror upon Daenys Corbury and all of his supporters. Unlike his brother and uncle, however, Aengar would have no room for mercy or forgiveness. Daenys Corbury would pay for his crimes with his head. For decades now the ambitious lord had gotten away with doing whatever he pleased, but no more. Aengar pushed through the great oaken doors to the council chamber to find the council already gathered and bickering. The room was filled with the buzz of heated discussion and the sweet smell of summer wine, yet a foul feeling hung over the room, suffocating the inhabitants. Fear and dread. His uncle Daemon was sat beside a window, a letter before him, staring out into the distance as if a world away. No doubt the news had hit him hardest. Daemon's love and admiration for his older brother was well known throughout court and Andalia. Ermund Bloom, Tion Erenstar and Lord Risewell heatedly threw back and forth accusations of treason and deceit to one another. All the while Benfrey Lancer sat silently brooding with a goblet of wine. To his right sat Lord Greyjoy, picking at his fingernails with his dagger. The blade shone black as coal, its hilt in the shape of a golden kraken. What a pathetic excuse for a council, he thought as rage filled him. Benfrey had made several attempts to purge the council and capital of greed, treason and corruption. Each attempt had been a complete failure. Should Aengar get even the slightest whiff of treason from any of his brother's council, he'd ensure their heads would join Daenys Corbury's to rot upon the gates of Severnport. No one in the room seemed to notice Aengar's arrival as he prowled towards the great weirwood table. He looked around at the pitiful state of his brother's so-called High Council, a look of utter disgust on his face. He clenched his fists and brought them down hard on the table. Silence! Hello everyone and welcome back to the Grand Northern Kingdom of Andalia for a great time of mourning. As at the end of the last episode, as we know, Benfrey Highstar, my favourite character in the entire series so far, was cruelly kidnapped and executed by Lord Daenys Corbury. But Daenys Corbury seems to think that, well, seems to imply that Benfrey Highstar and the Highstars are guilty of treason. We know that Lord Daenys is a little bit ambitious and he's a bit of a power grabber. But if we do go to our factions, we can see that Lord Huger, Benfrey's son, is actually trying to start a faction to claim Andalia, so there may be some truth to that, as well as the Erensstars are still plotting with a couple of backers. They've got the Grey Starks and the Crownlesses backing them, which is interesting. And then we've also got the Overthrow Monarchy of the Vale, an elective succession in the Vale by Daenys Corbury, and he's got a lot of backers in this, which is a little bit worrying. We've got a great war going on down here in the Vale. We can't actually command them to end this war. We can't get involved at all because we're actually, as Lister, away on a foreign tour, of course. So the council and the kingdom are now in the hopefully safe hands of our younger brother, Aengar Sevenstar, who's a very just man. So it's going to be interesting to see how things do play out. As Lister is away, when we're doing stuff in Andalia, we will play and roleplay as Enga, as we do like to roleplay as the regent or the hand whilst the king is away. And then when we do the events as Lister, obviously we'll roleplay as Lister. Apparently we've got a Commander of Andalia role open, so let's see if we've got anyone to fill that slot. Got Nana Harlaw, but she's not the greatest of commanders. We've got Hugo Highstar, but he's guilty of treason, along with Danes, who's also guilty of treason, so I don't really want either of those. We have Sansa Firehand, who's a dutiful commander. She's not too bad. She's not got a great opinion of us. We've got our Uncle Damon, the Maester, who's actually a very good commander. Joa Rack, who's a little bit cuckoo these days. There's not many decent commanders. There's Lord Royce, but again, he's joining the Corporys at present, so I don't really want to use him if we can help it. Could go for Sansa Firehand. She's a dutiful commander and a skilled fighter. Our wife apparently is half decent. Let's go for Sansa Firehand. Why not? She can fill that role for now. Right, let's finally unpause and see how things are going to develop in the Vale, because this is going to be very interesting. Your Grace, the Kingdom of the Vale currently has no incumbent separate from the Crown. I position that I should be overlord of this region as your most loyal and able bannerman. So even the Red Forts are trying to get in on this. And no, denied. I'm not giving it to any of you. Your Grace, you have invested a lot of gold in improving Hampole, but the work is currently directionless and wasteful. You should send your Hand of the King to oversee the efforts, and the gold, else the gold will be wasted. Okay, well, what is our brother currently doing? Let's resign him just so we can put him back into that role, and let's get him to improve those holdings in the crossing that we're currently working on. Perfect. Okay, so it looks like Corbury's got a lot of men. Honoured High King, thank you for reminding me of my duties and obligations as your vassal. You are right, of course. For the foreseeable future, you have my promise that I will not support any factions conspiring against you. Thank you, Danes the Wise, but I'm sure that that's a load of utter horseshit. I know that I can't trust you in the slightest. Oh no, it has now moved over to Lord Royce. He wants to overthrow the monarchy, so Lord Corbury will probably still back that, so we still have to be very careful of him. And for some reason, Danes High Oak was not our squire anymore, so we've just given him to Prince Enga instead so that he can be his squire. So he's still going to be getting squired in the capital. Offa Greyjoy currently enjoys the title King of the Iron Islands. However, he currently holds no legal right to keep this royal style. Finally, we was waiting for this to fire up in the last episode. Whilst under my vassalage, therefore I must decide whether to remove his title from him or else grant him a royal privilege. I will suffer no other kings. He may retain his royal style. No, I will suffer no other kings. Perfect. So now he should be Lord Paramount. There we go. Lord Paramount Ofgar of the Iron Islands. And it doesn't change his opinion of us. He's still got a very, very good opinion of us. Perfect. But wow, so we've got the Templetons and Royces who have decided to join the Corporys, and we've got the first Battle of Hearthstone kicking off here with 13,500 Highstar men against 15,000 Corbury men. We've got the Templetons and the Royces who are obviously allied to the Corburys helping here, and we've got the Willowwood army as well here. What's going on here? Okay, so Lord John the Unready is actually fighting alongside the Corburys, which is interesting with his about 800 men. My god, he's got no army at all. Lord Maynard the Skin Changer has used a favour on Lady Sybil the Young to force them to join all their factions. So it would appear that, yes, the Reeds have now joined the Erenstar for Andalia plot, which is very interesting. A lot of the Firstmen houses seem to be getting back together again. And at the age of 68, Maura Crescent died of depression. I don't think she's anyone of huge importance, so it's not too big of a problem. And it looks like the Corburys have won the first battle. A great battle in Hearthstone. Your Grace, I write to express my consternation at the fact that Lady Sansa Firehand enjoys commands of your armies when someone of higher status would clearly be more appropriate. Lord Colling, well, you're not very good at commanding at all in the slightest, Colin. You're actually pathetically bad. Wroth, slothful, greedy and proud. No chance. And you're also plotting against us. So, no, Lady Sansa is doing a fine job. Recognising virtues and talents that others possess is truly a virtue. I am truly blessed by having a steward that truly knows how to govern a realm. Reward my steward. Sir Ermin, opinion of us improves because we recognise his talent. Or thank God for my steward. No, let's reward our steward. A party of soldiers flying the banner of Lord Arbert Abel
Arbit the Able, recently set up camp in the middle of a field belonging to a farmer in Sevensport. According to the farmer, their campfire spread out of control, and his entire crop was reduced to ashes. He has brought the matter before your court and demands compensation. Lord Arbit is to compensate the farmer. The fire was a divine act, no one is responsible. I shall pay for the farmer out of my own coffers. How much is it? 50 gold. Yes, we'll pay for it out of our own coffers. We've got plenty of money. We want to keep our bannermen loyal, especially considering a lot of them seem to be fighting. I don't care what the hell is happening in Valantis. That does not concern me in the slightest. Where's this Highstar army coming from that's down here? I suppose it could be the one from the Bite. And at the age of 48, your subject, Emonjossa, was murdered on the orders of Arwen Roseheart. Interesting. And who is Arwen Roseheart? Who's Arwen Roseheart? It's interesting. Oh, it's his wife, who is a lunatic apparently, as well as dishonourable. Well, yeah, you've just murdered your husband, which is very dishonourable. That just reminds me of Rackes Fyrehands a lot. So I wonder how this war's going to go. What is it currently? How's it currently going? 46% in favour of Lord Danes the Wise. And this is actually the war for the Fingers War for the High Lordship of the Giant's Lance, the Lordship of Crow's Baron, and the Lordship of the Eyrie. Damn it, that is a lot of power that Danes Corbury is going to soon possess. My young friend has finished his education in bookkeeping and administration. I notice with pride that he has attained nothing less than a masterful level of knowledge. Ah, perfect. Sir Lionel Redguard gains the trait Brilliant Steward. Perfect. So he's now 16 years of age, and he's a knight. He's already been knighted. That's a shame, as I wanted to knight him ourselves, but perfect. He's actually become a very decent steward. Maybe he could be a future Master of Coin. Let's now find him a match then. Let's have a look. In the kingdom, we'll take a break away from battles for now. Any religion and culture, yeah, that's fine. Actually, let's go for our religion. And obviously we want a female who is not married. Let's try and find him a decent highborn bride. Right, age, yeah, we don't want 70-something-year-old women. He's only 16, so we want someone around his age, maybe younger, maybe a year or two older isn't too bad, but we want someone of high birth if possible, with some decent traits. Let's just go a couple of years older, just in case there's somebody pretty decent. Okay, so we've got Grenna Crownless here. She is disfigured and horrifically scarred, as well as brawny, but she is attractive and quick, which is some pretty decent traits. We've got a Corpory here. Well, I don't want to be doing anything with the Corporys, to be honest. 19, I don't want to go too much older. I want to give him the best chance of getting as many children as he can, especially considering that the Red Guards are a little bit low down. Oh, we have a Highstar here, our cousin, Teresa Highstar. She's quick, proud, honest, arbitrary, authoritative, and craven. Okay, so that's a pretty decent option. Maybe the daughter of Benfrey Highstar. That could be a decent one for him. Is there anyone else? There's a Viprun who's attractive. There's a Brightmire. Brightmire could be good. Oh, she's hunchbacked. Got a Stark, but she's weak. Is there any younger ones that could be good? We've got a Steelheart, but nothing overly impressive about her. I'd like to go for someone with some decent trade. We've got an Upcliff. That could be interesting. Quite lowborn, though. A Waynwood. I might... Oh, we've got a High Oak. Melissa High Oak for the Red Guard. Then again, I think they actually might be slightly related. Isn't his mother? Oh, no, that's a different... I'm thinking of somebody else. Do you know what? Let's go for... Where is she? I'm going to go for the Highstar. Can we arrange a marriage between you and Sir Lionel Redguard? No, you're too highborn, apparently. Do you know what, then? Let's go for... How about the Steelheart? That could be a decent marriage. Arrange a marriage between the Steelheart and Lionel Redguard. Yes, perfect. Send. There we go, my friend. We've got you a marriage. Next will be Danes High Oak, then, that's going to need a marriage. We'll have to try and arrange it. Then again, we might not be able to do it for him because he's actually a lord. And Ragnar Irontide is now known as the Eagle. Cool. Cool name, to be fair. That's pretty cool. May you live in harmony, Contentment. I accept the suggestion that Sir Lionel and Branna get married. Perfect. I do plan on making Lionel a lord. It's been a while since the Red Guards have been lords. After many days at sea on your ship, you finally arrived at Old Town. You are very excited and cannot wait to explore these new lands and the Reachman culture. Oh, awesome. So we're going to start with the Citadel and the High Tower for the wonders of man, which is pretty cool. Lord Gedman Hightower shall be informed of your arrival. Perfect. Can't wait to see him. And my god, a Seymour army of Willerwood is actually going to win a battle. Probably the first time they've ever won a battle in their lives. It would be so funny if it actually got sacked again. That would be hilarious. As I wandered through the streets, I overheard some local traders talking with each other about setting up a trade route to my homeland. It would be most beneficial to me if I could aid them in starting the trade route and take a cut of the profits. I may be able to negotiate some good trade deals, 50-50, or I may be able to negotiate some good trade deals. Okay, so what's the difference? Oh, you use your knowledge of trading coin to make the deal. Perfect. Because we're such a good steward, we can make the deal. You shake the merchant's hand, concluding the deal for goods to be traded between Old Town and Andalia, and pocket a nice profit for yourself. 50 gold, 25 prestige. Perfect. And we get a trade. Yeah, we get some nice trade going on with Old Town, which could be good if we ever do come in contact with the Westerlands. Old Town. You stop scribbling in your scroll when the coachman calls out. Aye. You look up to see him pointing off into the distance where a grand flame lights the night. Dawn rises as you finally see the full facade of the structure, the flame just the pinnacle of the monument. From the aisle in the mouth of the river that divides Old Town is a massive base. Old Town, a massive base rises, intricately constructed of black stone. The base gives way to a second tier, slimmer by near half the base, which comprises the bulk of the structure. This tier gradually melds into a tall, thin obelisk, giving the structure its immense height, and it is topped with a burning brazier. You hastily sketch it in your scroll and make your way to the ferry. What an interesting place. You should depart for the next destination in a week. Perfect. So Lister's off on his jollies, having a good time, while Enger runs the realm, and the Vale is in all-out war. Okay, so there is still 10,000 Highstar men here, so they've got a chance, but then there's a lot. Wow. There's over 10,000 Royces. It's time for you to leave your current location and move on to your next destination. Time is short and there is also much to see in this world. Onwards to Castle Black. Surely we would have started with Castle Black first, but okay. Whatever. So there's over 5,000 Templeton men, over 10,000 Royces, over 25,000 Corporys, which is interesting. I suppose he does have a lot of High Lordships. And about 800 Seymours versus around 11,000 Highstars. So I imagine the Highstars numbers are days are numbered. Still 46% in favour though. I think we will now go for our mid POV guys though, so I hope that you enjoy.
Maynard loomed over the raging fire in his study. He stared at the flickering tongues of oranges and blues as they consumed yet another pile of correspondence. It was sort of cathartic to see the paper buckle and shrink as the fire hid the ink scrawled on them in a layer of blackened char. The fireplace popped as the fresh log of wood he had placed began to dry out. It sung to him like most of the trees have been doing these past few years, whispering the secrets of the gods, the only gods. They had sung of a star rising to the south, a star of strong first-man blood. He would return order to the north. No longer would there be room for upstarts like that Corbury worm. The letters he burned were offerings to the gods, symbols of the steps he had taken to achieve this glorious future. Most of these letters had been from his correspondence with Lady Reed. The old gods had granted her the foresight to join his cause. With every great house he swayed, the more he could help Erenstar press another claim upon the throne. Smoke from the drying log began to billow into Maynard's face, causing him to turn and return to his armchair, adjacent to the fireplace. He had been staring too long again. Rubbing his eyes, he let his mind wander and call out to his animals. They had become more erratic, more feral as of late. Well, his wolf and bear, that is. He doubted his whale could ever be anything but docile. They seemed to buck and struggle with his pull on them like an unbroken stallion. He had written to his friend Lord Riswell about this matter, but all he had gotten back was questions concerning his health. Questions like, "How has your mood been?" or "Are you still as erratic as last time?" or even, "Are you sure it is not your sight?" This was why he had let his friend's letter become fuel for the fire tonight as well. Perhaps the sound of it crackling and crisping would offer better counsel.
Okay guys, so we are back, and a daughter was born to our cousin, Roman Sevenstar, and Melissa, named Amabel. I don't know if I like that. Let's look for something different. Something that we've not really had much in this series yet. Something still decent, maybe a bit northerner, not too common. Kyra, we've not had a Kyra for a while, have we? Let's go with a Kyra 7-star. She's not dead, is she? No, let's go for Kyra then, why not? After many days at sea on your ship, you finally arrived at Castle Black. Wow, we did well to sail to Castle Black. You are very excited and cannot wait to explore these new lands and the Northland culture. Lord Commander Malador Tallheart shall be informed of your arrival. I'm actually interested. I don't think I've ever done the foreign tour on the game before for the Wonders of the World. I've only done it like for the Free Cities and such, and Giscar. As you walk through the streets, you come across a group of small folk. I shall give them some coin, lose 15 gold, 25% chance your host is annoyed at you for giving them gold. I care not for these people. We gain the trait Arbitrary. Well, that doesn't seem very much like Lister, so we will give some gold to the poor people, probably in Molestown or something like that. And the Corbury army has again smashed the Highstar army in the Eyrie, so they're probably going to try and take the Eyrie now and win that war. Castle Black. You wake as the cart jostles, hitting a pothole in the northern road. As you wipe the sleep from your eyes, you see the sunlight dancing on an icy edifice, filling the horizon with shimmering light. You scramble for your charcoal and scroll, completing a rough sketch of the wall as your cart reaches its base. Thanks, you call to the driver as you disembark, barely a nod in return. You enter Castle Black and convince Lord Commander Malador Tallheart to escort you to the top. The lift creaks and shifts as you are pulled the 700 feet up and stops with one last violent shift. You step out onto the frozen walk to the sight of pure white in all directions. A frigid wind pours in and you pull your furs tight. How marvellous. I'm excited to see where we go next. Is there anything else to see in Westeros? Casterly Rock, maybe? The Bones of Nagril, maybe? I don't know really what else there is excited to see in Westeros without going over to Essos. Your Grace, the Kingdom of the Trident currently has no incumbent separate from the Crown. I petition that I should be made overlord of this region as your most loyal and able bannerman. Denied. I don't want any Lord Paramount of the Riverlands, and if I did, I don't know if I'd go with the Durandons, to be honest. Just time for you to leave your current location and move on to your next destination. Onwards to Bravos. Well, Bravos is a ruin, there's nothing there, so I think we'll skip over that event when we do get to it, because it would make no sense. Bravos does not even exist yet. Frustrated that you denied his request for a title, Byron Dondarrion has informed his supporters in the Trident you're hoarding of titles. Okay, so he's really upset, and Septon Wayne's opinion of us has changed for some reason. Okay, whatever. It's my title. I won't be giving away the Lord Paramountcy of the Riverlands. I don't know who I'd even give that to if I did give it away. There's not really anyone down there that I completely trust, to be honest. I would have probably trusted Darnold Crownless before he died, but I definitely don't trust his son. I definitely don't trust the Aaron-Stars or the Red Wolves. Both very treasonous. John is a complete and utter idiot, so I'm not trusting him. And the Viperons and Durandons are pretty new, so I don't really know how I feel about them yet. Your reports from Sevensport that our charity work is going well. Perfect. So at least it improves our opinion back with the Septon again. How is this war now going for Daenerys Corbury? Leave them to it, and then Enger can pick off the victor. But Daenerys Corbury definitely needs to answer for his crimes. I'm still absolutely devastated that he killed Benfrey. I'm so heartbroken. At the age of 21, Offa Lancer died a mangled mess. That's a shame. Oh no, as if. Oh, that is so annoying. That was actually Benfrey's heir, wasn't it? The genius, attractive giant. As if he's died. That is so annoying. I wonder how he died. He has had a son though, Samwell Lancer, who is also a giant, but he has lost the genius trait, which is a shame. Very annoying, but at least they keep that giantness about them, I suppose. But I'm a bit upset about that. But yeah, we will pick off the victors. We will get revenge on Daenerys Corbury. We'll bring him to justice when we can actually do that, as we actually can't do anything with him at present. We can't intervene. We can't try and imprison him or anything like that. At the age of 38, your subject Marlon Anvil died attending to chamber business. Oh dear, we've all been there. And at the age of 53, your bannerman, Lord Marwyn of Luna Woods, was beheaded on the orders of Lord Maynard of the Grey Cliffs. My God, I tell you what, Maynard Greystark is starting to turn into a bit of a tyrant, isn't it? Oh, we've got an army here that needs disbanding from the last episode. But yeah, Maynard Greystark is starting to turn into a bit of a tyrant. Yes, he has actually picked up the tyrant trait. I'm going to say he's beheaded two of his bannermen in the last couple of episodes. I'm a little bit scared of him, if I'm honest. After many days at sea, you have finally arrived at the ruins of Braavos. You are excited and intrigued at what might be present here. Well, it's ruin. Andrea the Goat has arrived at your court. Who the hell are you? You are a former slave, you're malnourished, you're ugly, and you have gonorrhea. Nice. You're Andal, apparently, but you don't look very Andal. And what else has happened? The alliance between Lord Belgrave and Lord Byron has broken down. Okay, and Mariana Rook died frothing at the mouth. Okay. We won't bother reading about Braavos, because Braavos doesn't even exist, so there's nothing there. There's no such thing as Braavos yet. We'll continue to forward things along. Yes, and onward to Old Volantis. I'm guessing in Old Volantis, it would have been a Titan, wouldn't it, that we would have seen in Braavos, but obviously we can't see that. But I'm guessing when we go to Volantis, we're going to see the famous bridge, aren't we? Hugh Royce is now known as the Warrior. Interesting, he's got a kill. I know, only his maester that he killed. I didn't know if he'd done something great in battle to gain that title, but it seems not. To all my subjects, no blood relative of the past sovereigns stand as the obvious heir to the Stormlands, leaving the succession unclear. Therefore, I have decided to use my powers as Lord Protector to crown myself, and so demand fealty of the nobles of the realm. Signed, Lucius of the House Tarth, first of his name, King Tarth of the Stormlands. Has really his House Durrandon died out? No, surely not. There was loads of them about. No, there's loads and loads and loads of Durrandons about. Absolutely hundreds of them. Princess of the Stormlands, the Queen of Lorath. Okay, makes no sense, but most of them are female, but there are actually a couple of Stormlanders around, so this guy's in Mistlewood. Is it Mistlewood? Oh, Mistwood. Where's that? Okay. So there is a Samwell, we'll make him important, and there's an Eldon here, he's in Tumbleton, we'll make him important. So there are two male Durrandons still around. Can we invite him to court? No, we can't. Can we invite you to court? Appears no. What if we send you a gift? No. That's a shame. We could have done something with the Durrandons, an exposed king, especially from a house that I love so much as well. That would have been really interesting. 36,000 men sieging down the Eyrie, and it's 60% in favour of Lord Danes now, so it's not going to be much longer until that war's over. Oh, I was hoping that they was going to attack Willowwood just for the jokes. Okay, the 31,000 men are marching down from the Bloody Gate, though, which is interesting. They have left 5,000... Oh no, they're all marching down. Looks like they're going to chase down the Highstar army to finish them off. And Joarak is now known as the Hunter. Joarak scares me. His son hasn't converted, has he? No, good. His son is still a Faith of the Seven worshipper. Good. We don't want any more Relors. And we have arrived in Volantis. The local nobles are having a feast and have invited me to join them. It may be a good opportunity for me to engage in some foreign diplomacy and to learn more about the ways of the world. I will try my hand at some of the foreign diplomacy. 70% chance that we impress the nobles. Or what can I do with these foreigners gain... No. Let's try and impress the nobles. Everything is going well. You have quickly learnt about the local Essosi Valyrian customs and equitete and managed to navigate your way through conversations about the mundane and politically sensitive with great ease. I truly have a way with words. We gain 1 diplomacy, gain 15 prestige, and there's a 25% chance that we gain Gregorus. But of course we're not going to do that because I never get that lucky. And Maynard Greystock has had rubies and iron added to their treasury. What's rubies and iron? Is that a book or... Yes, it is. Rubies and Irons is written by Maester Nailin. The book is named for the tendency of the warrior women of Kayakanaka, that's the mountains, isn't it, in the Far East, to wear iron rings in their nipples and rubies in their cheeks. Yeah, I think that's in like the Bone Mountains, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. I could be completely wrong. Old Volantis. You cover the yawn escaping your mouth as the sunlight and the end of your overland journey. The cartman urges the pullers onward into Volantis proper. He curses at the locals who choke the city streets as they go about their routines. After many threats and curses, you finally reach the western end of the long bridge. The cartman shouts as you stand up in the cart to see better. As you fail to see across, you heed his warnings and take your seat. He drives onto the bridge past storefronts, heads of fiefs and incretant pillars. You do your best to copy it all into your papers as you cross. Finally, under the east arch, he urges the beasts onto a black stone road. Its blocks fused into one. What a pleasure to meet with Essosi Valyrian people. My courtier Andara Motewell has expressed a desire to get married. Marry as you please, I don't even care. I don't even know where you've come from. It's time for us to leave and onward to Shireen, wherever that is. Lord Dela Volmont used a favour on Lady Rhonda the Hunter to force them to join all their factions. Let's have a look at the factions. We've still got the Overthrow the Monarchy. Crown Loyalists has really gone down. Wow, we've lost a lot of Crown Loyalists. Benfrey the Bear and Lord Offen of Oldcastle the Inbred. But I'm quite scared by this one, and I'm quite scared by the Corbury one, to be honest. They're both a little bit dangerous, so we need to keep an eye on those. But we'll keep an eye on this war for now. Let's forward things along. Your Grace, I humbly ask that you intervene on my behalf against the aggression of Lord Danes Corbury, who has invaded my lands in obvious contravention of the peace of the realm. I would be eternally grateful for your support in this matter. No, you're a traitor. I'm going to leave you both to sort it out between yourselves. But the council has voted in favour anyway, but Danes has refused to accept that. Of course he has. He's going to take the majority of the Vale here once he wins this war. But let's forward things along a little bit more and try and see what's going to happen with this. After many days at sea, you have finally arrived in Shireen. You are very excited and cannot wait to explore these new lands and the Royner culture. Oh, it's in the Royner. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that then. And we've got an offer. Peace be with you. We propose that High King Willard the Illustrious and Nana Harlaw marry. Okay, so his wife was killed by a dragon. Oh no, was burnt to death during High King Willard of the Westlands' attempt to hatch a dragon egg. He wants to marry Nana Harlaw. Decline, because I don't want you inheriting those swords. If they're going to inherit somewhere else, it's going to be in Andalia. The local nobles are having a feast and have invited me to join them. It may be a good opportunity for me to engage in some foreign diplomacy. Perfect. We will try. And everything is going so well up until you say something that somehow insults the nobles. Your lack of knowledge about their lands and customs has meant that you have offended them greatly. And now a shouting match occurs between you and them before you are hastily kicked out of the feast. Lose one diplomacy, and we could gain rude. No doubt we'll gain rude, because we wouldn't. Oh no, we didn't. So we're safe. We're safe. Shireen, the cart returns to the Arrow Strait Road as the driver's new custom settled in beside you. You nod at the elderly woman, then close your eyes as the cart is pulled along the smooth road. Nary a bump to upset your rest. Near asleep, you hear the woman muttering a hint of distress on her tongue. You stare to see her eyes locked on a dark fog in the distance. What is it, you ask? The Sorrows, the driver says. You note Grandstone Tower is barely breaking from the fog, and attempt to urge the driver towards it, but the woman takes his arm and shakes her head. She's right, the place is cursed, filled with the stone men, greyscale. I'll not go. You agree and sketch the fog-cloaked ruins in your notes. What an interesting place. Very interesting indeed. And it looks like the Highstar army is now marching around to the corporate army, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. They're going to get slaughtered if they get into a battle. They've got hardly any men at all compared to Danes Corbury's host. So it is time for us to leave to our next destination, and we're going to Norvos, which is going to be interesting. Maybe we'll see the temples of the bearded priests, which would be pretty cool. It'd be good if we could get some Norvosi steel. Oh no, it's cohort steel, isn't it? I think I might be mixed up. Let's forward things along. Lord Hugo of the Mother's Embrace accepted Lord Danes the Wise's peace offer. Lord Danes the Wise usurped the title High Lordship of the Giant's Lance from Lord Hugo of the Mother's Embrace. Lord Danes the Wise has usurped the title Lordship of the Gates of the Moon, and Lord Hugo of the Giant's Lance has usurped the title Lordship of Scorched Vale from the Maidens, and Lord Danes the Wise has usurped the title Lordship of the Eyrie. Lord Danes the Wise has usurped the title Lordship of Crow's Baron from Owen Steelheart. Oh, that is a shame. That's annoying. That is very annoying. He's heir to Silverreed, though, which is interesting. So the Corburys have won their war. Lord Danes of the Fingers has made the High Lordship of the Giant Lance his primary title. Right, so it's going to be very interesting to see what oh my god, look at his power. He is so strong now. I think that's the perfect place to end this episode, guys. So, yeah. Wow, Danes is becoming my favourite villain. We need to take him down at some point once Lister returns and we can set this straight. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and comment down below, and hopefully I'll see you all very soon for the next episode of the Knights of Andalia. I warned them. I told them when he went for Eastwold again.
That is the third fucking time I told them he is a traitor and is directly imposing on the king's peace. Not only that, he is the aggressor, the sole instigator of conflict in the Vale, but as ever I am surrounded by men of no honour and men blinded by their own ambition. I weep for my brother, my friend. I look back at those days when I was still a young man in the marbled halls of the Eyrie. He taught me so many things. With father gone, he took the mantle of family head. He may have only been Master of Laws at that point, but even then he embodied the values of House Sevenstar. My sister Kyra looked to Sir Lister the Loyal and Benfrey the Just for advice. And since those dark days during which brother slew sister and men died in droves, all the rulers have looked to Benfrey for guidance and sage advice. I feel his shadow looming over me always. I may be a maester, sworn to serve, but with the gods as my witness, I will not let this go unpunished. I will wait till the king has returned to make a move. For now, I shall wait in the shadows. I worry for Lister. He is still a young king with untested mettle. I believe now that I always saw him still as a chick, nestled in the wings of Benfrey and I. Others were brazen enough to say that Benfrey was the other king, but you'd pay with your tongs for such a comment. Lister respected and almost always heeded the advice of Benfrey, but he desires to be seen with and command respect himself from his subjects. He had been making great strides and is still making great strides. We thought more prudent to allow him to continue his tour of the realm around us and the ones over the sea. Let them see firsthand his strength and the folly of war with the greatest kingdom on this harsh, cold land. By my latest reports, he is in Old Town, a place I hold fondly in my heart. Much like myself, he has been losing himself in the library, but that's not to say he has been sitting idly by. He has signed a lucrative trade deal with the Lord of the High Tower. Now trade is flowing properly again with the West for the first time since the Bolton girl and her foolish attempted coup. Everyone knows she was funded by the Westerlands. Before he had even left, he had created a new office underneath the Master of Coin, the Exchequer. He named Rogar Sweetblood, his cousin, Pierre's son, to the post. Its premise is similar. He travels to each county in the realm, meets with its lord and counts their gold twice a year to ensure he is paying the right amount in tax. Time and time again, Lister proves himself a shrewd and just king, but these are times of peace, or they were. I'm proud how Lister has soldiered through his injury. He hadn't let Daemon's greatest failure define him. Now, with Benfrey gone, so circle the vultures, but they will find our skin thick and our vengeance swift. And so, I conclude with this. So passes Benfrey, founder of the House of Highstar, Lord of the Eyrie, Hand of the King and Lord Regent of Andalia. We will never see his like again. Go to the mother above. Rest now, brother. Rest with your children, our nieces, nephews, brothers and sisters. Say hello to father for me. Rest now, friend.